Oh, YouTube, it's really good. My name is Vivid, coach of the South Texas Sableyes, and this week I'm going to be doing something I haven't done for a long time. That's going to be a team builder video. I have not done this for a very long time. I got kind of jaded by them. I thought maybe they weren't worth the effort, but since I'm starting the WBE up and I am particularly new to the VGC scene, like I've done VGC in the past, but I've never really taken it seriously, I thought it would be good for me to post these videos. That way, one, you have an idea of why I'm using what I'm using. Two, it gives me something that I can easily look back on and be like, oh, this was clearly the strong point or the weak point on the week, you know? Just kind of learn from that. So if you think it's a good idea, let me know. Also, if you are excited for the WBE and WBE adjacent content, go ahead and subscribe. If you haven't already, leave a like on the video if you are excited for those things. And I would also love if you would leave a comment in the comment section down below. One, just letting me know after you watch this video what you would tweak or change. But also two, I'm doing, this is a spoiler, I mean, we're gonna get into it in just a minute. I'm doing the team builder on Showdown. I am doing that. I think it's kind of a tired format. I would like to maybe make a layout with sort of individual slides for each Pokemon that I'm bringing for a week. If that sounds like something that you would be interested in, then please let me know. That is information I would like to have. If you like the Showdown format, what I'm asking is, if you like the Showdown format, let me know that. If you do not like the Showdown format and you think that maybe something a little more innovative or creative would be easier on the eyes or more engaging or better to watch, then let me know. Those are the questions though. Now let's get to the opponent's team. All right, so really quickly, before we actually get into the video and break down the team, I want to thank the people that helped me build and prep for the week. This is something I want to make a habit. I really want the people that help me to sort of get the recognition and verbal affirmations that they deserve. I think that that's something that's important, and I think that it's probably not a big enough part of the community. So that's just me. I really want to thank people. So we're going to do that. Addie, someone who just recently joined my front office, was a heavy hitter this week and is already a heavy hitter for week 2, offering a lot of ideas, a lot of thoughts. I love it. Duke, as always, really coming through with the builds. And then Shime Time, once again, those 3 guys did a lot of the prep for this week, and I'm super thankful. So that's it. I just wanted to thank those people. If I remember, their links will be in the description down below. If I do not remember, please let me know, because I want the links to their socials to be in the description down below. Okay, that's it. Enjoy the breakdown. Okay, so our opponent this week is going to be ZoëTwoDots, coach of the Aussie Gliders. Zoe has access to Gmax, Appleton, Mimikyu, Torkoal, Chandelure, Togedemaru, Gastrodon, Lapras, Quagsire, Lilligant, Meowstic Female, and Corsola. I think the first thing that jumps out to me is that she has 3 Pokemon that are 4x weak to grass. So even though Amoongus isn't known for putting out super impressive damage numbers, I think Amoongus can put in a lot of work both offensively and defensively this week. The Lilligant Torkoal combo is really threatening. I have a pretty easy check to it by just keeping Pelipper in the back and only switching it in if my opponent leads with Torkoal Lilligant. Other than that, I think that we're pretty good on weather. Like, just by playing Pelipper in the back, for the most part, I think we should be able to win weather wars more often than not. She doesn't have a terrain setter, so we don't have to worry about her canceling out my psychic terrain unless she wants to manually set it by Dynamaxing and going for a move that would change the terrain, or manually setting terrain, both of which probably not the best strategies here. The team is relatively slow if you look at it. I don't think we actually need to use Trick Room this week. And when we get to the builder, you'll see that we didn't bring Trick Room. There's just not a lot of hitting power outside of Torkoal, Gmax Appleton, and Chandelure. Like, those are the 3 big offensive threats. Mimikyu can be super threatening just because it can set up a Sword Stance behind a Disguise. But offensively, Mimikyu just doesn't do a ton to me, and I have actually pretty reasonable checks for it. All right, so before we actually break down the team, I just want to say I'm probably going to touch on the nicknames briefly of each Pokemon. I feel like the way I come up with nicknames, at least if I don't have inspiration for a nickname, is 1, really boring, but 2, leads to me using nicknames that I I don't think many people understand, unless you're just like a really big fan of the animal kingdom and know all of the random species names or like scientific names for things. So starting off that, we have Amoongus here, whose nickname is Amanita, which is, I'm pretty sure, just like one of the scientific words. So like one of the Latin words in the scientific name for some strain or species of poisonous mushroom. And that is how I come up with my names, which is very lame. If I don't have a name off the top of my head, that's what I do. I could have gone with fun guy, like FUNGUY, like, oh man, he's a fun guy. I didn't do that. But yeah. So Amoongus this week, it has a Pyapa berry. This is specifically because Zoe has access to that Meowstick. I am setting terrain. Meowstick in terrain actually really threatens Amoongus. I want to make sure I can always eat a Psychic, whether or not it is choice specs, whether or not it is in terrain. And that is also the reason for max special defense here. Also, just the majority of Zoe's offense is specially defensive, so I just wanted to make sure that Amoongus could eat as many hits as possible. Clear Smog, Giga Drain. The Giga Drain here, maybe not the most standard thing, but Grass Stab looked really good this week. Clear Smog just to stop any like Dynamax or Mimikyu setting up shenanigans. Spore here just to sleep things, obviously, and then Rage Powder for the redirection. It does kind of suck, and I'm kind of realizing this now that every week my opponent should probably have one Safety Goggles Pokemon to make Spore and Rage Powder not real items. Like that's kind of a feel bad, and I realized that after the draft was over, but also it sort of pressures my opponents each week to have Safety Goggles. So it's like a double-edged sword, right? It'll be fine. We'll be fine. We're gonna be fine. All right, so next on the list is Kiryu, the Duraludon G-Max form. Kiryu, if you don't know, is a nickname for Mechagodzilla. I don't know why you would know that. It's a really nerdy thing to know. It's like Mechagodzilla's nickname in the Godzilla universe. Yeah, I was gonna name this thing after a skyscraper, and I thought that's way too basic, so let's name it after the second most common thing I'm sure it's named after. But yeah, honestly, Duraludon's dual stabs just looked really strong this week. Assault Vest lets us patch Duraludon's very weak special defense stat and hopefully take more special hits. Like I said, a lot of Zoe's offense is specially oriented. It's also a really good max candidate this week. Stalwart, we don't get too much mileage out of, but I'm pretty sure she has access to a few ally switch Pokemon. I feel like everything this generation got ally switch. Thunderbolt was just the best third coverage option that we could have had. Dark Pulse really could have been anything. It could have been a physical move for all I care. I mean, we're only ever really clicking Dark Pulse against Chandelure, and Chandelure probably toasts us anyways. There was also a time where this set was almost Lumberry and Dark Pulse was Protect. Lumberry just to protect from Lil against Sleep Powders, but I went with Assault Vest in the end. I think it made more sense to just eat up more hits, deal more damage. Moving right along, we have the Indeedee male form, which I nicknamed Banksy, and to be super honest with you, I don't know why I nicknamed it Banksy. Banksy's an English street artist, if you don't know. I don't think anyone knows his identity to this day, or at least we don't have a face to associate with him. I just kind of imagine that he kind of looks like Indeedee when he's spray painting stuff, you know, just kind of like, yeah, a little angry, a little angsty, at least Indeedee male form. So there you go. And Indeedee, it's the region based on Britain. So those are the dots I connected in my brain. This set is really here just to make Reuniclus as good as possible. Expanding Force, she does not have access to a dark type this week, so Expanding Force is really spammable. Indeedee has a great speed tier. I think it's only outpaced by Togedemaru and Mimikyu. And if she chooses not to max speed those, we still have a shot at outspeeding, especially if the Mimikyu is like a Trick Room set. But the two moves after that, after you, is outside of Trick Room, we can just after you to make Reuniclus use Expanding Force sooner. It isn't the best because we can just double Expanding Force sometimes, but if Reuniclus has better calcs or gets Oko calcs, then it might be a viable option. We also have Helping Hand to do inside of Trick Room, so we can Helping Hand and just supercharge Reuniclus, or really anything inside of Trick Room. The After You, I guess, also could power out Amoongus Spores. So there you go. And then Protect is just Protect. Psychic Surge, set the terrain, baby. Zoe doesn't have access to terrain, so we're winning the terrain war unless she wants to manually set, which is not the greatest option. Normally it's like a wasted move, or if you're maxing to do it, it's almost never a stab move. I don't know. The moral of the story is we should win the terrain war. And then the Weather War counterpiece we have here is Pelipper. Pelipper did insane damage with Hurricane and Calc, so we just decided to specs it up. It actually has a really good speed tier this week. It's normally really slow, but a lot of Zoe's team is slower than Pelipper, and even the things that aren't slower, they don't threaten it a ton. Like, the biggest
Hey
threat
Kaiju fans, I'm Kyoda Aikino, and today we're taking a look at the Millennium Mechagodzilla, Kiri.
I think we're in a good spot. Pelipper hits a lot of the team. Like I said, it hits a lot of the team really hard. Sleep Talk here to absorb a little against sleep powders maybe and give me an option to like still get in for damage. U-turn here is sort of a failsafe. If Pelipper is on the field and Torkoal is on the field, okay, so if Pelipper's on the field and Rain is up, but Torkoal is also on the field, I need to switch Pelipper out, because if she switches Torkoal out and then switches it back in, I'm losing the Weather War. If Pelipper is on the field and Torkoal is in the back, I have to switch Pelipper out. And if Pelipper's on the field and I don't know what's in the back, I have to switch Pelipper out. It just makes sure that I'm constantly sort of one step ahead in the Weather War. The reason Torkoal is so threatening is because Eruptions in Sun slaughter teams. So if I can avoid that at all costs, I should. Yeah, so that's why we have U-turn. We can hard switch or U-turn. Reuniqueless, the Jelly Baby here. Oh, real quick. Pelipper's name is Squall because a squall is like a sudden gust of wind or a sudden storm. I Googled rainstorm, I got to hurricane, and then I found the word squall. Like I said, Amanita, just a poisonous mushroom. I just Google and go on Wikipedia pages until I find a word that I think fits the Pokemon. So there you go. That's how I nickname things. We are not innovative. Reuniqueless, the nickname is Jelly Baby. Back when Gen 5 was coming out, I regrettably spent a lot of time on the Pokemon board of 4chan. I would not recommend that you spend any time on 4chan ever, but I was in college and I was looking for spoilers and 4chan had them, and everybody referred to Reuniqueless as Jelly Baby. So it's a Jelly Baby. I think it's kind of cute. Kind of looks like a little fetus inside of a gelatinous outer shell. I have no clue, but I like the name. Jelly Baby here. Casted Berry, she has access to Chandelure and Mimikyu, so I want to make sure I can eat a Ghost Hit always. Expanding Force is going to decimate things inside terrain. The rest of the coverage here is just to hit things that I can hit harder, like Chandelure gets hit harder with Shadow Ball than Expanding Force, unless the Expanding Force is single target damage. Energy Ball to take out the Water Grounds and the Water Rock and Corsola. Protect here, just standard Protect. Reuniqueless and specifically Reuniqueless, Duraludon, and Seismitoad are really, really good max targets this week. Reuniqueless just has the ability to run through entire teams, and if I can max to live hits or just get like a massive health pool, I think it's worth. A little bit of speed here looks a little awkward, and no Trick Room probably also looks awkward, but the fact is Reuniqueless just outspeeds a lot of the team naturally, or not naturally, but with a little bit of investment. Like with this little bit of investment, we outpace Gastrodon that doesn't have investment. We outpace the Appleton that doesn't have investment. We just actually don't need to exist inside Trick Room for Reuniqueless to be great this week. And if Zoe wants to set Trick Room herself, Reuniqueless and Amoongus still function really good in Trick Room. So that was the thought process. I'm about it. I'm with it. This was all like, I should say, I should have said this at the beginning. I'm probably going to record a clip and put it in there so I make sure, but a lot of this building was done by my front office. Like I have opinions, I have thoughts, I say what I'm comfortable with or what I think is better. But a lot of sort of like the fine tuning of things, it's just really a great group of guys. So shout out to them. I'm gonna definitely make sure I record something and put it before the video because I am at a point where I think verbal affirmations are worth a lot. Alvarius here, the Seismitoad. Alvarius is like a genus name. It's like a name that you would see for toxic toads. There are some toads that have like poison sacs on them that if you smoke the poison or lick the poison, it's like a hallucinogenic trip or you die. It's like one or the other. I think you basically flip a coin. But I was looking up the poison toads and that's how I got the genus name, Alvarius. I could just call him Alv. Maybe from here on forward, from this point on, we'll just call him Alv. It's a cute, or like Alvy. We'll figure it out. But that's how the nickname was, and or that's how the nickname. It's how we got to the nickname. Is what I'm trying to say. Seismitoad here is the rain piece, or sort of like the counterpart to Pelipper. We did not go for water type coverage this week. Zoe has 3 Pokemon that are just immune to water, and anything that water hit super effectively. Ground type coverage also did. So we just stuck with Earthquake. Power Whip, again, lots of water types. Want to make sure I can break through them. Drain Punch Bounce gives me max airstream and max knuckle, so I can increase attack stats, I can increase speed stats. If I get to +1 attack and +1 speed while the rain is still up, it's almost a lock that I'm going to win that game, unless Trick Room goes up or something really bad happens. I'm in really good position though otherwise. The speed stat lets us outpace any Scarfers inside of rain. Max attack Adamant, just because we can hit harder that way, because otherwise Seismitoad's damage output is a little lacking. That's why we also opted for Life Orb here. And then the HP is just to give a little bit of extra bulk. But that's it. That's the team. Let me know what you think. I would like to honestly know what you think about the team this week, how you feel about it. I want you to tell me what you would change in the comments down below. Again, please comment on the format. If you really like showdown format for team builders, let me know. If you think that it's played and outdone, let me know. I might try and cook up something, you know, fresh and innovative. Also, like the video if you enjoyed this content, or if you're excited for more, please subscribe if you're new here. We're going to be putting out a lot of WBE content and just Pokemon content in general, and I think you're going to want to be here for it. Probably, if you're here for this, you probably going to want to be here for all of it. But yeah, that's it. Follow me on Twitter. Keep out with my shenanigans. Twitch link in the description down below. Be doing stuff over there. I'm kind of done here. This has been fun. Thanks for chatting with me. Okay, if you like the team, let me know. I've got it. I gotta leave. Bye. Oh, you made it to the end of the video. That's dope. Thank you so much for watching. If you would like to see more from me and make it to the end of those videos, there will be a video here and a video here. This one is a video that I think is really good, and this is what YouTube recommends. So you should watch one of them. Okay, thanks.